Cool. Hello. Welcome back to a podcast. After a long time, we are here back again, and we are हम वही दो लोग वापस ओमकार and Rishabh are here. One of your favorite podcasters. I hope you watch our podcast and give us a feedback. Uh, Today we'll be speaking about overall topics, basically Women's T20 World Cup that happened, India's bad performances against Ireland and England series, Shreyas Iyer captaincy, Gautam Gambhir's coaching style, and then the upcoming one-day series that's starting from tomorrow, I guess, or day after. I am not sure about the exact
Yeah,
time, but Rohit and Kohli are going to be back. So yeah,
13th को है
13th को है ना? हाँ, मेरे को लगा कल से। ठीक है,
एक मिनट
14 से स्टार्ट हो रहा है। Cool. Omkar, what is your take on the World Cup that happened? The T20 World Cup. Aussies dominating seventh title, unbeaten campaign. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we all knew that they would be the top contender. Uh, I was thinking that maybe England could be winning because both England and Australia went unbeaten in the finals.
Yes.
But and England also had their home advantage, but Australia, I think, was they just play a kind of cricket which is so competitive that it becomes very difficult to for other teams to even match the standard. And I think they have more World Cups now than their male counterparts. So that's another, achievement in itself, the women's team. So I think congratulations to Australia. And I think before the World Cup, we had discussed one of the issues that India had in the World Cup women's team was consistency. And I think that is what eventually backfired for
Yes.
us. And, we couldn't qualify. And so, yeah. But your thoughts also.
देखो मेरा what I think is home ground advantage, unbeaten streak, and an Australian team in final. That's a repeat story of 2023 World Cup. And the home team had
Yeah.
to lose. The home team had to lose. They again, see, these are the odds, these are the combinations that come into play. These are मतलब ये बोलते हैं संयोग होता है तो वो होता है. But again, what the way Australia played, the way they looked, it was good. It was terrific. It was another level. It is like basically whether it rains, whether it whatever happens, Australia is there everywhere, and it's not just they're there; they
Yeah.
are at the top of everywhere. So winning by like 7 wickets at Lords, chasing 150 in like 17 overs with 17 or 16 balls to be spared. That is a great performance. That's a sign of a one-sided the final. And Australia one-sided finals we have seen it multiple times. 2015 World Cup, 2026 World Cup. So yeah, we did predict that India should be there. We predicted South Africa to be there. We predicted England to win. But again, when you face a mammoth team like Australia, it's already difficult. The mental pressure.
And to add on to just one bit to you, also the opposition was in blue. So Australia has some affinity to a blue colored jersey. Blue देखते साथ वो अच्छा खेलने एकदम से लग जाते हैं फाइनल्स में. So that is also one thing which didn't work in favor of England. But yeah, I mean, to sum up, I mean, Australia's performance has been great. I think Pat Cummins' test team would be, feeling a little this that if they had won that 25 World Cup, they would have all the trophies at this point in the international stage. And they would have created a history where they have his trophies across all the three formats. So I think that loss against South Africa would be something that Pat Cummins and his team would be thinking right now. Otherwise, they would have both the World Cups, the T20 World Cup and the Men's World Cup and this World Cup as well. And of course, the one World Cup that we won. So those two formats, I think they would be thinking. And but then Australia is Australia. I think they will come back again and they'll play fearless cricket once more. So yes, So great performance to
That is true. Then
Australia.
like if you highlight the finals, I would say Beth Mooney was the player of the match and player of the tournament. 238 runs in the
Yeah,
tournament and three straight 50s in World Cup finals. In World Cup finals, like each final she has played, she has hit a 50. So that's like, I would say, clutch queen. Matlab, I would say I would
yeah,
term her Ricky Ponting or Gilchrist or something, some in that level. She's a legend, obviously. You have heard her
Mhm.
name over and over again. So yeah,
Again, yeah,
correct. But so there were no words to describe that how great she is. Again, not taking away the
yeah,
credit from Danny Wath, but Australia did fantastic. The I would say that everybody, like, they have a best scorer or best wicket taker in their team, but as a team they are collective so much. India should learn from them. Indian women's team, I would say. In fact, everybody should learn
yeah.
from them.
Yeah, and I think the way they play competitive sports in Australia in general is something that a lot of other teams also should take inspiration from them. And I think India should focus now. The women's team should focus more on being more consistent. Having the same team playing well, and going forward in the next edition of the World Cup, hopefully they cross the line and win like they did in the 2025 World Cup. But yeah, Australia all the way. So yes, Australia, congrats to the women's team.
That
And they also got to celebrate at the Wimbledon. The women's team, few members were there at the Wimbledon as well. So they were very happy there also, and rightfully so. But yeah, I think that was there. And the England women's team, I think, not having much of a turnaround time. They started their test series against Indian women's team, so which is currently ongoing. So yeah, hopefully there we get positive results from the women's team. A historic test match again at Lord's, first time women's cricket at Lord's in test format. So yes, but yeah, that's about the women's T20 World Cup with Australia winning, and we are not witnessing a new champion this year, which we had predicted could be with the case of South Africa. But
correct.
yeah, nevertheless.
And
But moving forward, I think
go ahead.
बोलो.
मैं कह रहा था कि इंडिया का एंगल भी देखेंगे ना। इट इज
हम्म.
मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, लगातार दो सीजन्स, दो टूर्नामेंट्स वो ग्रुप स्टेज से बाहर हुई है। एक क्रंच मैच जो इम्पोर्टेंट
हम्म.
मैच था उनके लिए, वहां पे उन्होंने शुरुआत अच्छी की। हरमनप्रीत कौर ने अच्छा एक क्या बोलते स्कोर बनाया। बॉलर्स ने भी चोक करना स्टार्ट, मतलब ऑस्ट्रेलिया को चोक कर रहे थे, बट अगेन ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डे एलिस पेरी एंड शी वाज लाइक, शी वाज phenomenal. She took the match away from right from India's pockets to Australia's pocket. Like, I was watching that match and मैंने देखा कि India was in control like up until 10th over of Australia's batting. लगता है 10वीं ओवर के
Yeah.
बाद ही, मतलब 3 विकेट गिरने के बाद उनके पास कुछ आत्मा झांकती है और देन द ऑस्ट्रेलियन टीम, क्या बोलते हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलियन टीम स्टार्ट्स टू परफॉर्म. I guess there's a similarity between men's and the women's in Australian team. Don't take three
Yeah.
first quick wickets.
And
What?
yeah, and also, yeah, rightfully so. But I think both दोनों भी match में one common thing was that India's score was very bad.
Correct.
Even in the 23 World Cup final and the game that happened against Australia. I mean, when you're playing against Australia, you need a score upwards of 180, 190 to have a chance. Otherwise, they will beat you. They still managed to put some pressure during power play and the first 10 overs, the women's team, but I think that score was just not enough, right? I mean, it's some at the end of the day when it's a knockout kind of a game, you need high scores, and I think that was something that didn't work for India. But again, as we said, hopefully they go ahead and
Yeah.
in the next edition, like they did in the 2025 World Cup, they play good cricket, and the next edition of the Women's World Cup they
Correct.
play
Correct. I
and
agree.
they
Agree.
cross
But
the line.
But one good for find for India, Sri Charni, 14 wickets. The catching
Yes.
performance could have been better. It was worst in the team, but like across the tournament, I would say India had 11 drop catches, 71% catching efficiency, worst among the tournament. But one good thing that happened is Sri Charni, 14 wickets. Also, Dipti Sharma, all-round performance. That I would say, good thing. But also one more question from my end to you is it right time for India to look past Harmanpreet Kaur? At least in T20.
Uh, right, right after the World Cup, I think that it will be too harsh on her also because her record as a player and as a captain has been good, right? So right after the World Cup, I don't think it will be. But in the long run, I think they should. Of course, we have Smriti Mandhana right now, who's a vice captain, who's the likely contender to be the captain, unless someone like Gautam Gambhir comes in and gives it to some random person. But yeah, but in women's cricket, we are not seeing that. So, but yeah, I think in the long run they should. But one thing which I feel more than Harmanpreet or more than the dependency on Harmanpreet in the middle order, I feel this had also spoken before we did for the pre-World Cup episode where we had shot where India, the women's team lack a power hitter in the middle order. That is something that Harmanpreet used to do it efficiently over the last few years, but वो एक डिपेंडेंसी है हरमनप्रीत पे कि if there's a collapse and हरमनप्रीत comes in instead of she going and bashing the bowlers उसका पूरा attention and focus becomes how to stabilize the innings, right? If you remember the South Africa game also, she the thing is they want to hit, but then how much will Richa Ghosh herself hit, right? You can't have that, especially in T20 format, because you asked for T20. Because in ODIs you at least get those 5 6 extra overs in between to balance out.
Stabilize and
But
to
in
rotate, yeah.
T20s you yeah you have to hit. So I think वो एक dependency which Harmanpreet, it's very difficult to replace her also, not just as a captain but also as a player. But I think that is one place which India has to look past. Similar, not exactly similar, but somewhat a case that India men's team faced with Hardik Pandya, right? That they don't have a like for like replacement for Hardik with that power hitting and with that
Bowling.
thing. Harman not being the all rounder, of course, but then giving that sort of a boost right towards the end. I think that is something which India will lack. But yeah, I think it will be too harsh to do that immediately. Give her some time, and maybe then look past Harmanpreet or give her or take give her the player's role, let her continue, and
Correct.
then have a new captain in place.
So the
So I
reason
think that should be the way to go out.
the reason I asked about looking past Harmanpreet as a captain is because there's something that we are discussing right now is India men's team, the performance that is going on in UK right now. So like looking
Yeah.
past Harmanpreet and I'm connecting looking past Gambhir at the same time because
Yeah.
या मतलब वो कनेक्शन था मेरा तो इसीलिए मैंने वो टॉपिक लगाया ऑब्वियसली हरमनप्रीत कौर phenomenal phenomenon so she's good she's too good matlab you can't debate over it what she has done for Indian women's cricket at the same time she has won the World Cup for Indian women's which no other player no other captain was able to even achieve that so not taking anything away
Yeah.
from her but considering the age factor considering grooming factor or something and all the on that grounds keep her as a player like what Rohit no, Virat got in form of Dhoni and Rohit got in form of Virat.
Dhoni.
Although
Yes.
although Rohit did not need it, but it's better to have three heads at the same time rather than use one head and be struggling. So I feel that phase could come in. Maybe not remove her. Maybe she decides her or no. But again, अगर removal की बात आ रही है तो गौतम गंभीर. I definitely feel that guy has done wonders for Team India in terms of making sure that Indian team breaks all this record that are intact for life last 10 to 12 years. Like losing against South Africa, losing against England in home test matches. Now this losing against Ireland. The team has never lost against Ireland. I know there are always first, but too big of a thing to happen, losing against England. The third T20I was clueless. The team was clueless.
Absolutely.
Not taking away that first and second T20I was bad, but third was disaster. Like, not first and third, sorry. Second, third, and fourth was she was clueless. First was got washed away. That was the only match where India played well, decently. But again, third, fourth T20, Sarpanch Saab अकेले fight कर रहे थे. 80 runs he made out of 44 or 47 balls. But the whole team just could only take one wicket. And India lost. They scored, I guess, in 13 or 14 overs, and that's very terrible. That's a disrespect or insulting for each and every Indian fan. Um, I
Yeah.
feel
I mean, to list down some of the great achievements of Gautam Gambhir, unwanted achievements. Ever since he has taken up, we first time lost against Sri Lanka bilaterally in 28 years. Then we lost a home series against New Zealand. We lost a home series against South Africa. We lost the Border Gavaskar Trophy, the famous trophy where three legends of Indian cricket retired after that series. We lost against New Zealand in ODIs, which was a shocker in the recent series that happened, and of course the Irish team beating India, which was something which was never expected. I mean, even in no one in the cricketing world would have even predicted that they would win one game, and they didn't just win, but they won. They just didn't cross the line. See, there's a difference between winning just we've seen teams where they have just won. Like sometimes in the World Cups, we've seen Scotland beating England or Ireland beating England. कि लास्ट बॉल पे जाके मार दिया जीत गए, या फिर स्कॉटलैंड वंस अगेंस्ट इंग्लैंड वेयर दे चेस 370, which are rare cases, right? You don't really, those are things that don't happen,
correct.
but they comprehensively beat India, which was a shocker, because a team like Ireland beating a team like India, who I think there are six players from in this team that played against Ireland, which were a part of the T20 World Cup that we won some
Correct.
3-4 months ago. So it's
4 months
a
ago.
it's actually a very poor state of affairs, if I would say. But
Correct.
with Gautam Gambhir, I feel it's going to be I mean, he and his best friend in coaching, Baz McCallum, both need some questioning. Both of theirs, individually they are both legends in their for their team, but coaching questionable in both the cases. England will be really happy that they are 3-0 up against this Indian team. I mean, Harry Brook, you saw the happiness on his face that day in the presentation, where he also was shocked कि भाई मतलब ये कैसे हो रहा है, कि what is happening. Jofra Archer picking the wickets and they are just high-fiving, and they you can literally see on their face that कि अरे क्या कर रहे हैं लोग, what are these people doing?
No,
What are these? They
correct.
are clueless batsmen, don't know how to hit the ball. It's one of those things. So, I mean, short of words, I don't know what to say here, because this is really bad.
Two things I would like to highlight here. Gambhir was always an insecure player, and he is an insecure coach. There was this news or something that came out from an ex-Indian cricketer. If you have heard of it, I don't recollect the name, but he publicly called Gautam Gambhir a bully, and basically he was insecure as a player. एक छक्के ने मैच नहीं जिताया था is what his statement is. He got a bit salty when Dhoni was given a man of the match. He got salty when Irfan Pathan was given man of the match instead of Gautam Gambhir in T10 2027 World Cup, 2007 World Cup. So he as a player has not achieved anything great. ऐसा नहीं बोलूंगा, but he has helped India achieve great. But he was looking for his personal milestone important rather than a team milestone. Then there was this 2014 Test match where he was making a comeback, or he was a part of a squad where on during a commentary, a commentator said that he's an absolutely rubbish player, and James Anderson gets him out in first
The
three balls itself.
the,
I guess it was
the
Michael Anderson.
legendary Jeffrey Boycott.
Jeffrey Boycott.
No, no,
Jeffrey Boycott.
legendary Jeffrey Boycott.
Yes, and
He plays
right
rubbish
now,
and then he
right now,
nicks the ball.
yeah, 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 and right now is so insecure that he made sure that Rohit and Kohli are getting question, matlab, self-questioning themselves that whether their team, that the position is fixed in 1 days. Made sure they get retired from test matches because he wanted to stop the star culture. But somewhere around the line, he's building that. And second point that I recently yesterday read it was, matlab, it is not fixed right now, but it is something that is on cards where during the Zimbabwe series that India is touring, Gambhir will be given a break and Lakshman will be heading. So I guess I could see
Yeah.
Lakshman as a successor. Maybe we don't know how it will be, but again, at least it will be a good decision. And one more thing over here is Shreyas Iyer as a captain is taking stand. We all know Shreyas Iyer and Gautam Gambhir don't go pairs properly. They do work properly, but they have clashes of their opinion. Shreyas Iyer did take a stand when to play whom and how to play. Uh, we were all expecting Shreyas Iyer would make Vaibhav Suryavanshi play second T20I with Ireland, but he didn't. So we finally have some a captain who has a spine, who is not just taking orders.
Yeah.
Matlab, these are the three things that I noticed. And again, Gambhir, we matlab, in my opinion, he should be definitely removed from test match coaches. मतलब ये तो मैं कह दूंगा. In
Yeah.
white ball, know that he has a great record. He helped us win the Champions Trophy. He helped us retain the T20 World Cup. But again, I feel he's eyeing the One Day World Cup. But with this way, with the decision he's making, Washington Sundar being the part of this squad, again, then Harshit Rana. Although Harshit Rana is performing well, but don't know, Prasidh Krishna, पता नहीं ये जीटी लॉबी क्यों भर रहा है भाई. Like, I don't get the point of from him.
No, I think to add to what you're saying ना, मुझे वही लगता है कि I think एक डिस्कशन में हमने ये बात भी किया था कि I think even Ravi Ashwin had brought up in one of his conversation where he said कि if the players are under the pressure के हम आज नहीं खेले और हम निकल जाएंगे, तो then that goes on to your head even if you're a legend, right? So irrespective of whether you are Virat Kohli, the Rohit Sharma, you are at that stature. Agar every single game, if I have to think, yaar, will I be playing tomorrow? Media is questioning me, everyone is questioning me, and the selectors are not saying anything on that, right? So that's where that builds up कि it's not required. So I think वो एक, अगर तुम्हारा टीम consistent नहीं खेल रहा है तो मतलब I don't know what's the thought process. I mean, in the T20 series, for example, ये जो अभी the ongoing series against England, I understand, giving Weber Suryavanshi the exposure, you make him play, give that international exposure to him. You can do that in the fourth and fifth T20I also after winning the series. We've seen this with Dhoni, we've seen this with Virat, where it's not, or even Rohit for that matter, कि ऐसे थोड़ी है कि first time कोई debut कर रहा है, right? Debutants have been given their exposure, their everything, you put the poor 16-year-old kid on the spot. He's facing Jofra Archer in his career for the first time in international cricket, very different than IPL, by the way, which again we'll come to what has been the consequence of IPL selection. But I mean, you put him on the spot and you're dropping someone like a Sanju Samson because he didn't score against Ireland, which again didn't make any sense because the entire team didn't score. दोनों गेम मिला के 300 के ऊपर पार नहीं हुआ है हमारा. दो गेम मिला के अगेंस्ट
Correct.
आयरलैंड,
I
इट वाज
agree. I
दैट
agree.
बैड.
Yes.
Against Ireland, it was so bad that no one played. And it is the complete team failure. It has got nothing to do with श्रेयस अय्यर हिमसेल्फ और बॉलर्स. कोई किसी एक को तो ब्लेम करना ही नहीं है, पूरा टीम का एब्सोल्युटली बैड परफॉर्मेंस, अबिस्मल परफॉर्मेंस अगेंस्ट आयरलैंड. तो उसमें तो कुछ चांस ही नहीं है. And if you are taking that as a standard to drop Sanju Samson against England, and then you are giving a thing कि नहीं उसको रेस्ट किया है, वो न्यूजीलैंड सीरीज, वो जिम्बाब्वे एंड एशिया गेम्स में तो वैसे भी नहीं खेल रहा है. एटलीस्ट जिम्बाब्वे टूर ही इज ड्रॉप्ड. सो उसको रेस्ट तो मिलने वाला है वैसे भी आगे
Correct.
एक महीना. ही इज नॉट
Correct.
प्लेइंग द टेस्ट, ही इज नॉट इन द टेस्ट स्क्वाड. द ओनली स्क्वाड इज अ part of his T20. Why are you dropping him in the T20 format when you know you have two big tournaments in 2028?
What what
You
what I
have the World Cup and you have the Olympics.
what
सो
I feel,
दोनों है ना एक ही चीज।
correct. What India could have done better, or I don't know. We are sitting here and we are commenting, but again, at the same point, we as an Indian fans are very much hoped, because every Indian guy dreams of playing cricket for that nation. So we look after that. आप 140 लोगों में से, not everybody is contesting, but you are in the top 15, you definitely will hear the critics and everything. What India could have done better is maybe dropped संजू सैमसन, बिकॉज जस्टिस गेम खत्म हो रहा है अभी फिलहाल, मतलब जस्टिस कार्ड भी बचा नहीं है एट दिस पॉइंट. तो मे बी ड्रॉप संजू सैमसन, आई अग्री विद ड्रॉपिंग हिम सेकंड T20 आई, promote Ishan Kishan as an opener, and maybe bring someone like Suryansh Shedge in the fifth or sixth or seventh position, and maybe after series is locked in, then introduce Vaibhav Suryavanshi on the fourth. They could have done that fourth or fifth T20I. This was
Yeah,
definitely a stupid move. And IPL to batting tracks, you all know, Bumrah was getting hit. The person who had an economy of 6 and under in T20I World Cups in both the editions that he has played, 24 and 26, he was getting hit for a six by the kid. So that shows you how the pitch supported you. No wonder you have the skill set, but at the end of the day, things need to go in your favor as well. अगर ऐसे मतलब लक फैक्टर नहीं होता तो विनोद कांबली आज सचिन से बेटर होता. पृथ्वी शॉ wouldn't have had the downfall because he was a better player than Shubman Gill. He was the captain of under 19 World Cup winning team, where Shubman Gill played as a player. So definitely luck factors in, but uh, that that was a batting friendly. He is a I'm not saying too early to say, but again, flat track bully or not, I don't know.
no, I think it's too early to judge also. I mean, he's just 16 years old. मेरा वही पॉइंट था कि इतने यंग इस पे इतना प्रेशर तुम पहले ही डाल रहे हो जस्ट बिकॉज व्यूअरशिप एंड ऑल दैट प्रेशर यू हैव के व्यूज आएंगे, लोग देखेंगे एंड ऑल दैट. सो आई अंडरस्टैंड द सी माई थिंग इज with IPL, I understand the financial aspects of things, right? के advertising है, तुमको brands है, तुमको revenue है, all of that. But when it comes to international cricket, I would say that the game takes over your revenue and everything because you are making enough money. अभी ऐसे तो नहीं है कि आप पे कर रहे हो ना, like there are some teams, there are some boards which don't have enough money, so they have to play cricket. दे प्ले फॉर सस्टेनेंस. आप खेल रहे हो क्योंकि आपको खेलने का एक यू हैव एन एडवांटेज इन द वर्ल्ड. तो यू वट एवर यू वॉन्ट टू डू आप आईपीएल में करो. आईपीएल में फ्लैट ट्रैक बनाओ, 400 रन बनाने दो टीम्स को, वट एवर दे वॉन्ट टू डू दे कैन डू. बट वेन इट कम्स टू इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट यू कैनॉट हैव दिस बिकॉज यू आर इधर वे आपका टेस्ट टीम इज स्ट्रगलिंग, your ODI team, you are making condition in the ODI team in a way के वो बस एक एक बिग ये स्टेप लेके अगर if your big players go, even the ODI team is in a big jeopardy at this point. Indian ODI team is also struggling big time, barring if you remove the legends and if you remove Bumrah from that team. आपका टीम देख लो structure and you will know के what we are seeing.
Right,
And
agreed.
the T20 team which was performing so well is has started to struggle, which was the only format which kept Gautam Gambhir, in my opinion, in the hunt for the coaching. I mean, T20 team of Surya Kumar Yadav, it was single-handedly him and his team. Credits to Surya Kumar Yadav that from 2024 to 26, what he did in those 2 years, he lost, I think, some three games only, if I'm not wrong. One that came against the in that World Cup game against South Africa, and I think he lost one in Australia and one in South Africa when we toured there. But मतलब आप देख रहे हो ना, आप रिकॉर्ड देखो, his 2 years record, and then post the World Cup, two series you've not won a game after the T20 World Cup. You're the world number one team. You
Champions.
have the trophy in your cabinet. I
Basically,
mean, how
people
can you
called
not win?
people called Surya Kumar Yadav Shunya Kumar Yadav because he lost Shunya series in his career as a captain. Made sure,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
he made sure that India, maybe they lose a match or here and there, and but he made sure that series नहीं जाने देंगे. See, at the end of the day, he was not getting runs. Just because of you are a captain, you don't deserve a position. Is what my opinion is as also because अब again I mentioned 140 करोड़ में अगर आप टॉप 15 या टॉप 20 में हो, मतलब आपको परफॉर्म करना है. जस्ट बेसिस ऑन कैप्टनसी आप नहीं रह
हम्म,
सकते. So, but looking at, uh, you always miss the sun when it starts to snow. So that's how would I like to put
हम्म,
it. And uh, again, what I would say, Gambhir, this whole team, Shreyas Iyer deserving the captaincy. I understand, I agree. But Gambhir deserving that, does he deserve to be a coach? I don't agree on that. Bringing back Surya Kumar Yadav would make sense. I don't know. Maybe we could try. Maybe we could uh, do something like a one of क्या बोलते हैं वो experiment where he comes up back as a player, not as a captain after the Asian Games, and maybe see how it goes. Again, but Gambhir definitely has to go. But we all know that Gambhir isn't going anywhere until Asian Games.
Yeah, no, and I think one thing which I would say is, okay, I remember before the World Cup, the last time we had a conversation, हमने बोला था कि Liam Livingston in one of the interviews he had told कि India is lucky they can
Play
make
four
three, four teams and
scorecards.
they're
Yeah,
very और वो सब है. But the thing is, if there's no point in having four teams if they don't perform.
correct,
There is no point in having that many options if your first choice players are not performing.
correct.
ऐसे तो मतलब Australia also has a lot of options, right? Why do you think Australia is struggling? I think the last series that they played, the last World Cup in the T20 World Cup that they played, we saw कि उनके you remove their top players from the squad and see how Australia struggles, right? So it's not that Australia cannot build a team. Australia also has talent. बट अगर आपका टीम जो उतरा है वो खेल नहीं पा रहा है तो इट मेक्स नो सेंस आपका वो टैलेंट कितना भी हो टीम में. तो आप अगर आपके प्लेयर को ये प्रेशर है कि इफ आई डोंट परफॉर्म आई विल बी किक्ड आउट ऑफ द टीम. No one officially is saying this, but as fans, we can understand. I mean, we've seen enough cricket over the years. We've seen coaches, we've seen captains. We know what is the how things work at with Indian cricket. But yeah, I mean, it's embarrassing to be honest at this point. I mean, you cannot have a loss against say, Ireland 2-0, and then the way it's going, England also is looking at a whitewash. I mean, it
Yeah,
will be a miracle if India wins the last game. I'll be very
yeah,
honest. I mean,
definitely. It will
and
be
if this kind of coaching and if this kind of thing works, I think ODI series also we might be wiped off. You never know. And that is going to be a big challenge because, I mean, that there's that one thing कि एक चीज होगा and then there'll be a trickle down effect. जो we saw in test matches that BJT series, what happened after that one BGT series, right? We know के क्या हुआ उसके बाद the next 6 months. So I mean I don't want that to happen, but yeah, and something similar we saw with England cricket also where a coach he's हुआ with Ben Stokes and then it led to his retirement. I mean peak of his career, he's retired. So I mean, there are these small things where एक चीज होता है कहीं और पे, and then the effect of it comes to a place where the consequences are very bad. तो वो
correct.
नहीं, I hope that thing like that happens. But yeah,
I I I I,
again,
I genuinely
2027 World Cup.
correct. Before like let's keep it short and two quick questions. Do you think is it time up as an player or as a supporter of Indian fan? Do you think Gigi's career is over as an Indian coach? Should he be changed? Secondly, uh, what do you think should be the changes in the fifth T20I? Do you think Surya should play, Vaibhav should be dropped, Sanju should be brought back? What are your thoughts? And Washington Sundar as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the changes have to be there. पहले तो in the team bring back Sanju Samson, let him play the game. Have your first five players the way they were playing in the T20 World Cup. More or less your core is set. Instead of Surya, you have Shreyas at four. तो आपका वो strong core set हो जाएगा. Bring in Suyansh so that he gets that exposure and let Vaibhav Suryavanshi rest now. I mean, it's too much pressure for him at this point, and I think more or less, I think that is the squad that we would want. And with the bowlers, I think more or less the bowling is set only. Washington Sundar, I would say, should be given time, a little more time in the shorter format. He's also under a lot of pressure at this point. But yeah, I think we should not drop him, but we need to manage somehow the all-rounders in the team. And of course, your first question, though, as a cricket fan, I would want Indian team to win. So if that means that we are dropping Gautam Gambhir, or we are doing two captain, two formats kind of a thing, that is the way to go ahead. I think that should be BCCI's choice. But again, I mean, with Gautam Gambhir and in the current times, I don't think that's going to happen. We all know the reasons, but yeah.
परफेक्ट यस आई एग्री मतलब मैं मानता हूँ या कोई भी मतलब वही होगा बीसीसीआई दिस इज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे मे बी हैव टू टू कोचेस टू कैप्टन्स डिफरेंट कैप्टन्स बट टू डिफरेंट कैप्टन्स तो है ही बट टू कोचेस वाइट बॉल में भी दो कैप्टन है टेस्ट बॉल में एक अलग कैप्टन है एंड कमिंग बैक टू नाउ द मेन थिंग दैट इज स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 14th July एंड which will go on till 19th of July 3 मैच ओडीआई सीरीज T20 में
Yeah.
ढंग से पिटने के बाद आई सेड अब इंडिया को असली फॉर्मेट में जो ओडिया है उसमें इज्जत बचानी पड़ेगी 3 मैच ओडिया सीरीज एजबैस्टन July 14 लॉर्ड्स July 19 एंड सोफिया गार्डन्स इन बिटवीन सो again these are the part of the upcoming World Cup cycle league we all know that India will be qualifying easily, but again, it is better to maintain that record rather than be at last moment कि अरे मेरे को 4 मैच जीतने हैं मेरे को 2 मैच जीतने हैं तो ही मैं वर्ल्ड कप खेल पाऊंगा which happened last time with England in 2023 World Cup. They were almost out of
Yeah.
the World Cup, but they had to win. So maybe that will be playing in their mind. Again, big storyline in the World Cup in the World Cup in the ODI is that Rohit and Virat are back in the squad although Kohli's investment or Kohli's clearance is based on his fitness and clearance from the BCCI, but I feel he will make it to the squad. What are your opinions? Will he be in the squad or will he be in the
Yeah.
part of resting team, bench पे बैठेगा होम ग्राउंड पे वो भी
No, I mean,
होम ग्राउंड पे
yeah, I
वो
mean, he looked pretty fit at Wimbledon, so I don't think fitness is an issue with Virat. I mean, I mean, we just saw him. He was cheering for Djokovic, so I don't think fitness is an issue with Virat, and neither is it an issue with Rohit. I mean, even Rohit, there's no issue in that sense. And I think Virat will be back. He couldn't play in the Afghanistan series because of injury, but I don't think in England he'll face that issue. I'll be surprised if Virat doesn't play the ODI series against England, or even if he misses out in the first two games, first game or second game, because
correct
I mean he knows the importance of him and Rohit both being in the team and playing through this cycle for for that World Cup, right?
correct
And with the way things are happening, I don't think there'll be an issue with him.
विराट
The
विराट का
one
तो
person which I'm
विराट का तो
हाँ,
वैसे भी
बोलो बोलो,
होम
आप
ग्राउंड
बोलो।
ही है वो विराट का वैसे भी तो होम ग्राउंड ही है
हाँ,
यू आर सेइंग समथिंग
उसके उसका उसके होम ग्राउंड पे तो उसका रिकॉर्ड काफी सही है यार, बट उसके एक्चुअल होम ग्राउंड पे उसका द वे ही गॉट आउट एंड हिज रिटायरमेंट वाज ऑन हिज होम ग्राउंड ओनली, सो आई डोंट वांट एनीथिंग एसोसिएटेड विद हिज होम ग्राउंड, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, इन एनी ऑफ दिस टिल द 2027 वर्ल्ड कप। मेरे को तुम सब अवे रखो, दिल्ली में भी मैच मत रखो, चलेगा। तो हमें वी वांट विराट टू प्ले that role that he's played for years, and
यस
I don't think fitness will be an issue.
एंड
I
ऑल्सो
think yeah, one player I was saying that I'm looking forward is Bumrah, because he'll
यस
be back for this
मैं भी वही
series,
कहने वाला था
and after that, and he'll be back after the last time he played was in the World Cup final in 2023, and he hasn't played ODI games since, so it's going to be a big challenge for him also. I mean, he's a legend and he can adapt to any format, but ODI is bowling 10 overs. It's going to be a challenge for him also. And for Shubman Gill, of course, as a captain, will be a challenge. I think the last summer was great for him. He could manage to pull that two all series, and save Gautam Gambhir from, his coaching debacle, which could have been three series loss on the trot if he would have lost that series also. But yeah, but I think the format is different, and Shubman Gill likes playing in England, so hopefully he plays. And your favorite, of course, Shubman Gill comes back as a captain. So your
नहीं
thoughts
सर,
on Shubman Gill
कुछ
as a
कुछ
captain?
कुछ भी बोलना था, बट ये चीज नहीं बोलना था। नहीं, मैं वही कहने वाला था कि शुभ बुमराह इज ऑल्सो रिटर्निंग टू द ओडीआईज आफ्टर अ गैप ऑफ 3 years. Shubman Gill continues his ODI captaincy. Not that I am happy, but it was actually, to look at the stat, it was Afghanistan was his first ODI series win as a captain. So that
Yes.
tells the stature of the player he is. So again, nothing taken away from his talent, but वो होता है, एक प्लेयर पसंद नहीं आता है तो पसंद नहीं आता है, and that there is a little squad tweak
He
also.
will, he will win. He will win against England. I'm rooting for him to win against England in
I
England.
am rooting for him to
Last
win
time he
against England.
almost won.
Yeah.
Had that Lords game not happened, India would have won that series. That last day at Lords, and that वो स्लोप क्यों है लॉर्ड्स पे, मतलब वो दैट वाज अ प्रॉपर डिफेंस बाय डीएसपी सिराज, आई मीन, एंड दैट वाज अ प्रॉपर डिफेंस. वो स्लोप क्यों है लॉर्ड्स पे, वो बॉल रुक के स्लोप पे लग के हिट हुआ,
And
दैट वाज ट्रॉमेटिक टू वॉच आल्सो.
वो जो स्लोप है ना, वो अच्छा खासा दिखता है. आई रिमेम्बर विजिटिंग लॉर्ड्स अराउंड दैट टाइम ओनली बिफोर द
या
मैच. एंड वो स्लोप इतना, मतलब आई वाज इन द अप कमेंट्री बॉक्स, कॉम बॉक्स से देख रहा था मैं. वो जो स्लोप इतना खतरनाक स्लोप है ना, मतलब if you are running at a speed of 1, by the time you finish the slope, you are at the speed of 5. So the slope is significant, I would say. So I don't know why the slope is there,
या
but they should do something. But I guess that's the only ground with a slope at this point. But secondly, coming back to the ODI series, Nitish Kumar Reddy is injured. Hardik Pandya is not there in the squad. Shivam Dubey is in for Nitish Kumar Reddy. Debatable considering Shivam Dubey's record. मतलब he hasn't. I don't think so. He has a significant matches under his belt in T20. In what do you say? Uh, क्या बोलते हैं?
ओडीआईस.
In ODIs. But yeah, he is there. Although I was just checking. Sorry, I was just checking the squad. नहीं है शिवम दुबे actually. कि है. I
ओडीआई
was
में कौन है फिर?
ODI में it is against
ऑलराउंडर क्या है? गौतम
सूर्यंश
गौतम गंभीर खुद उतरेगा नंबर 4 पे?
सूर्यंश सूर्यंश शेडगे, वॉशिंगटन सुंदर एंड अक्षर पटेल.
सर भूल जाओ ये सीरीज. इसको एडिट कर दो चाहिए तो ये पार्ट में से. ये सीरीज, बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर नहीं है अपने पास, फास्ट बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर नहीं है इंडिया के
एक भी.
पास.
सूर्यंश शेडगे इज अ बैटिंग ऑलराउंडर. वॉशिंगटन सुंदर इज अ स्पिन बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर. अक्षर पटेल बापू तो हमें पता ही है, तारी बॉलिंग कमाल छे बापू, वी ऑल नो. एंड देन वी हैव विकेट कीपर्स इज केएल राहुल एंड ईशान किशन. बॉलर्स में है केडी, जसप्रीत बुमराह, कृष्णा, राणा, अर्शदीप एंड गुरनूर ब्रार. एंड द फोर बैट्समैन दैट वी हैव आर गिल, शर्मा, कोहली, अय्यर. सो दैट्स द स्क्वाड.
Which is pretty much the uh
टॉप फोर.
so as you see that we were discussing that we don't have a fast bowling all-rounder in English conditions, which is a very bold selection by two legendary selectors in Indian cricket at the moment. We are going in, and we are hoping that Jasprit Bumrah comes in and hits a lot of sixes when he's batting also, and picks a lot of wickets when he's bowling also. So yeah, I mean, we hope that India whitewashes England in this format under the great Shubman Gill, and as Rishabh said, under English conditions, Virat's favorite conditions to bat.
होम ग्राउंड.
But it's going to be a unique challenge, because it's a very brave move of not having a fast bowling all-rounder in your team in a series like England, and when you're preparing for a World Cup in South Africa, which we all know is such a great spinner-friendly pitch
I guess
country. So yes,
I guess they are thinking that since the World Cup is in Namibia, South Africa, they are thinking कि वहाँ पे स्पिन ट्रैक्स ज्यादा होंगे. स्पिनर ज्यादा होंगे, इसलिए मे बी सूर्यांश शेडगे एंड वॉशिंगटन सुंदर आर गेटिंग गेम्स अगेन. What as an Indian fan I would say, I don't know what Gambhir is taking the decisions as. गंभीर जितना इनसिक्योर है उतने ही इनसिक्योर अजित अगरकर है, बिकॉज आई टेल यू व्हाई. अजित अगरकर was the player who was replaced by Rohit Sharma in 2007 T20I World Cup. So Rohit Sharma got a debut match because of
Rightfully so, I mean.
sorry.
Rightfully so, I mean, he deserved to
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
replaced by Rohit Sharma.
But Ajit Agarkar was in the original squad. मतलब he was there in the squad, but he was just benched. If you remember that India Pakistan bowl out wala match, Ajit Agarkar was there, and then Rohit Sharma was introduced instead of him. So maybe वहाँ पे कोई खटास हो. I don't know. I'm just thinking a long. But Rohit Sharma again deserved it. At this point, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, a legend. We just hope India banks on them and India gives them a. And we discuss this every time we are discussing about cricket in general in last 3 4 times that we have spoken about, that Rohit and Virat should be given clarity कि भाई तू कुछ भी हो जाए तू खेलेगा. That gives a little more
Hmm.
clarity and removes pressure from the shoulder कि भाई मेरे को पता है मैं खेलने वाला हूँ, तो मैं
Correct.
वो
I mean,
लेवल्स के फ्रीडम से खेलूंगा कि भाई मैं परफॉर्म करने के लेवल से नहीं खेलूंगा, मैं उस लेवल से खेलूंगा कि मुझे पता है मेरे को टीम को अच्छी स्टार्ट देनी है, मेरे को टीम को सपोर्ट करना है, तो वो फ्रीडम रहेगा मेरे पास. बस वही है.
hmm.
दिस प्लीज लिटिल लिटिल थिंग्स मैटर.
And yes, and I think let's hope that they play well in the ODI series. They have a series next with Sri Lanka. They are going there to play test matches, which we'll talk about in the next time that we connect and next time on the
यस.
next episode,
या
which will be again a challenge in itself going to Sri Lanka. The
गोइंग टू
last time
श्रीलंका.
that we went there, we had won. So hopefully they win in Sri Lanka. And Shubman Gill's away record stays intact, unlike his home record, which is really poor in test matches.
But upcoming series for India is the One Day World Cup, which India has against in One Day World Cup, no, One Day series against England. Then T20 is against Sri Lanka. Sorry, against Zimbabwe. Then two Test matches in Sri Lanka, and then a one day matches in India with West Indies. So India has a pretty much packed scheduled ahead. Hoping I could see one of the match at least. I'll try. I'll try to go and see one of the match. But again, nothing around Mumbai, Pune, or nearby cities. Like Ahmedabad में भी कोई नजदीकी कुछ नहीं है. So what are your wrap the things up? What are your predictions?
अहमदाबाद अहमदाबाद एयरपोर्ट से अहमदाबाद स्टेडियम जाने को टाइम लगता है यार.
टाइम लगता है. नहीं.
अहमदाबाद इज Ahmedabad is Ahmedabad is there. It's just exists. I mean that stadium. वो हो गया गलती से.
वो हो गया. वो again, what are your thoughts? Maybe to wrap the segment and our video and our podcast. It's ODI World Cup in the around the corner, like in a year or 10 in a year and 2 months, and so many matches. But what will be the score line for the one day series that is England against England?
2-1 in favor of India. I think it will be very difficult for India to play at Lords, because Lords is going to be a challenge for India, is what I feel, because and we are in the last phase of the English summer, so there will be overcast conditions, ball will swing, and of course, the format is different, but Lords has been a challenge in limited overs for
Correct.
India. So I think the Lords game, I would say England has an advantage, but 2-1 in favor of India. What are your thoughts?
Same, I would go 2-1, but in favor of India, because I would name this series as a prestige series after what has happened in the T20Is against Ireland and England. I would say कहीं तो कुछ तो इज्जत बचा ले. रोहित, कोहली और बुमराह, they play good. They make sure that India wins. Iyer साहब and Rahul साहब वापस come into good form. सो दैट 2027 का रोड मैप एक क्लियर हो जाए. गिल तो खेल ही लेगा irrespective of what it is. गिल हैज दैट सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर और दैट कुशनिंग वेयर ही विल बी देयर बिकॉज कैप्टनसी दी है, मतलब वो 2027 वर्ल्ड कप तो खेल ही लेगा अनलेस एंड अनटिल सम डिफरेंट चेंजेस कम इनटू द प्ले. बिकॉज सूर्य कुमार यादव के साथ भी वही हुआ था. बिफोर द T20 वर्ल्ड कप ही वॉज अ फ्लॉप 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 शो, बट ही स्टिल मेड इनटू द स्क्वाड basis द टी वर्ल्ड कप, basis द टीम कैप्टन. सेम विल हैपन विद गिल. सो गिल का टेंशन नहीं है अगेन. बट ये बाकी के चार जो पांच लोग हैं उनको तो भले ही कितना भी अश्योरेंस हो कि मैंने तो अच्छा खेला है, बट उनको खेलना पड़ेगा हर मैच में. एंड कमिंग बैक, द prediction will be 2-1 what in favor of India, hoping Kohli to be
मैं
the
तो
highest scorers.
आई वुड या my only addition here is just wrap, just as soon as Hardik Pandya is fit for cricket, just उसको बबल रैप करके रख दो 27 के वर्ल्ड कप तक. उसको कुछ इंजरी ना हो, कुछ ना करो. आईपीएल लेट हिम, डोंट लेट हिम प्ले द आईपीएल नेक्स्ट ईयर. कोई मतलब फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. मुंबई हैज 5 ट्रॉफीज.
वो
इट्स
मुंबई
ओके
के
इफ
पास
मुंबई
रहेगा कि नहीं
डजंट
वो भी
हैव
पता
हार्दिक
नहीं.
पांड्या. हाँ नहीं, इवन इफ ही इज देयर, whichever team he goes to, if he doesn't stay with Mumbai also, wrap him up. नहीं चाहिए. We don't want injuries. We
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 genuinely don't
saw
want.
the that that one injury of Hardik Pandya costed us that 2023 World Cup. Of course, there were a lot of reasons, but that one injury was something that destroyed that whole balance of the Indian team. So I don't want Hardik Pandya to be injured, or find someone who is as good as Hardik Pandya in the next 16 months,
Myth,
which
which
is
is
a
a
challenge in itself.
challenge,
So I
yeah.
don't think it's going to happen.
And also
So मतलब
coming to this, why I want India to win is because in England is playing Pakistan after India. They are playing three test matches. Although Pakistan is no match in terms with England, but अगर इंग्लैंड पाकिस्तान से हार जाता है तो थोड़ा बुरा लगेगा. So at least legends should come back winning something. So I want 2-1 to be the score. 3-0 cherry on the top, but 2-1 is something I want right now.
अगर पाकिस्तान जीत जाता है इंग्लैंड के अगेंस्ट, तो बैस को बाय बाय है.
Bye bye है.
Bass is out then. If Pakistan is beating England in England, I don't think England has any thing. I mean, Pakistan was the reason the whole baseball, Hawa happened. That the whole
Correct. 2023.
Rawalpindi thing, and they bashed them and all of that. And if that is the case, I would love to see Pakistan win against England in England, and just end that chapter of baseball, because Ben Stokes has anyways retired. I hope that Baz also goes, because it's not serving. It's the same issue that we are facing with Gambhir, that England is facing with Baz. So he's a legend, but I don't think it makes sense for him to continue.
Cool. So
So yes, on that very positive note,
yes, on that very
we will
positive note,
we will wrap up.
we wrap up this segment and this podcast, and we'll come back with another episode right just after the World Cup नहीं, right just after the ODI series. World Cup ही आ रहा है मन में, जैसे World Cup ही हो, but right after the World Cup series that wraps up, will be there and will be shooting again on and giving our 2 points on the one day series that happened. And definitely follow us on Instagram. Although we are not active, but we'll be planning to be more active on Instagram as well. The Pitch Perfect, and do subscribe us on YouTube. Thank you. Adios, amigos.
Yeah.
Cool.